Hello everyone, this is Spot. And if I sound happy, it's because I am. I'm actually kind of excited. Ever since I started putting anything online on YouTube, I've always wanted to do a Let's Play of EU4. And it's been multiple reasons why I haven't. Previously, it was because I didn't really have the computer that could do it. And also, I'm not an expert at EU4, and I'm still not. I'm better than I was before, though, but I'm still not. But now I'm at this point where I'm like, screw it. I'm going to do an EU4 series. I'm going to have fun, and that's what matters, and hopefully other people will enjoy watching it, and that's what it comes down to. Now, the first time I actually played EU4 where I kind of grasped it and I got it, when I first got it and I had like a really good play experience, I was actually playing as Sweden. So I decided the first series I do as EU4, I'm going to do it as Sweden again, because that was like my first great experience. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go into Sweden, and we're just going to see what we can do. It's going to be a casual play, and again, I'm not a major expert, so don't hold me to anything. Feel free to make suggestions, etc. But that's really about it. So let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to kind of assume that you know what EU4 is, etc., because explaining it is kind of complicated, and I don't want to spend an entire episode doing that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, etc. Alright, so we are Sweden. Are we paused? We are paused. Awesome. Alright, so let's take an accounting of our situation. If I remember correctly, we are currently a vassal of Denmark. Let me just verify this, but I believe that's pretty much the case. Yes, we're a personal union under Denmark, under being the keyword there. So, we are their vassal. Now, to do anything, we can't declare wars, we can't handle any of our own foreign relations with anyone else, because Denmark does all of that for us, and we have to pay them a certain amount each month. So as an example, let's see here, it's actually probably in our economy. Yeah. No, it's not tariffs. Where does it show what we send up the line? I'm actually not sure. I'm honestly never a vassal long enough to actually notice. It's production, taxation. Oh well, it's here somewhere. Anyway, we have no vassals because we are a vassal. Okay, great. So, we're not unlocking any ideas at the moment. This is our technology. We're at 333. Our current leader is 322. These are monarch points. And we make these. This is actually the amount that we're going to make each month, right? And a month will go by pretty quickly, etc. These are rebels. These are advisors, and advisors do certain things. So there's the monarch points. These are administrative points, diplomatic points, and military points. And these are notifications, and this notification is telling us that we have a free advisor slot. Because sometimes you'll want to go without an advisor in a slot, but that's pretty rare, actually. Usually you want to get them in there. It's pretty good. Right now we're making 7.44 ducats a month. That's in profit, right? So, no, I'm sorry. Well, this is not matching up. It usually matches up after a second. Anyway, this is what our total income is, and then we actually have things that we're paying, like fleet maintenance and army maintenance and all that stuff. And we can pull this down, but it impacts their how effective they are, etc. So. Right now, what we need to do is let's go back here and let's look at our advisors. So these are advisors. These are two level 1 advisors. You know they're level because they give you +1 while they're in office. They give you +1 to these are administrative advisors, so they give you +1 to administration. This is +2 to administration. This guy gives you yearly prestige of +1, which our prestige is crap right now. Not surprisingly, because we are a vassal. This guy gives us an inflation reduction of +10. I don't know if we're dealing with much inflation at all right now. No, we're not gaining any inflation. We haven't been to any wars, and we don't have any gold mines or anything like that, so we're not going to have a problem with that. So, but the prestige is good. So we'll probably go for the prestige. I'm sorry. I don't actually think this is a guy. I believe this is actually a woman. I think that's why it's silver. So I apologize. We'll put her in there, and that cost us some money, but now we're paying 1 ducat monthly, which will drop our income there. Let's look at our diplomatic. Here's a woman, Christina Leuenhaupt. Better relations over time, 30%. That's actually pretty cool. Diplomatic reputation, 2%. Actually, I'm going to take this one. There's also trade efficiency. I'm going to take the diplomatic reputation because it helps when we're negotiating with foreign powers. And while we do not handle our own foreign relations at the moment, there is something that we can do, which we will need to do almost immediately. So we'll get that here in a minute. All right, and fort defense plus 25. This impacts pretty much our defense if a foreign enemy is trying to come in and siege our land. Land force limit modifier and national manpower modifier. What's our current manpower at? Now, here very soon we're going to have to go to war with Denmark. Not just Denmark, with Norway, because Norway is also a vassal of Denmark. Norway and Sweden are both vassals, and when we declare our independence, Denmark isn't going to like that. They're going to go to war for it, and Norway is going to come in. And Denmark, some of their allies will as well. They have... Oh, and Holsten will come in as well. Let's see here. Yeah, they don't have any alliances at the moment, but that will change for sure. So let's go here and look at... I'm going to go and pick... So, land force limit modifier will give us pretty much the ability to sustain larger amounts of men in armies, right? Without paying massive maintenance fees. We have to pay for them, but the fees will be dramatically higher if we go above our force limit. Land force, national manpower modifier is the actually amount of men we have to put in the field. That's not actually what we have standing as an army, but it's like the pool where we would get reinforcements from. And the total manpower, the national manpower, also affects how fast that refills. So you'll notice that right here, our maximum is 19.1, and we gain 159 each month onto that. And so anytime that they're in battle or anything like that, or they're suffering attrition, they're going to be losing men to, well, death. And they're going to have to be reinforced. And so this number will be hit, and it'll be refilled at that rate. So if we do plus 10% on this, it'll up it, a good amount. Or we could do land force modifier, which just allows us to have more of that pool standing as an army at one time. So at the moment, if we do the 10%, we're currently at 12, so we'll get about another... this will pop up to, I think, about 14 instead of 12. Which definitely could be helpful. Yes. All right. So what we're going to do is... But we... and the other thing, of course, is that we actually want the extra monarch point, because this is how we do nationwide things. All right. We'll get into it. I'm going to go for the manpower modifier, because I want to get this up to max as quickly as possible. All right. We haven't even unpaused the game yet. This is all preliminary stuff. We're not going to declare war on Denmark at the moment. What does Denmark think of us? Plus 25? Okay. We're currently making 231 a month. We just burned 3 a month right now because on our advisors, because they're costing 1 each. I believe they're 1 each. Yeah, they're all 1 each. Technology, you'll notice that here, our technology, we get to, that's one of the things we get to use, well, actually, the main thing we get to use our monarch points for are upgrading technology levels. There's other things, but this is one of the biggest. Ideas we'll get to in a while. These are missions, improve our prestige, this will bring it to 50, I'm not ready to do that yet. Improve relations with Denmark, have religious unity, yeah, I don't care about any of that. Okay, this is our stability. which just is like overall the stability of the nation and has a lot of stat impacts. We'll just leave that how it is at the moment. National unrest is -4. That's great. Okay. So we're going to kill that. Now, the first thing that we want to do, we're going to let this run pretty slow, is we want to find out who doesn't like Denmark, right? So their enemies are Scotland, the Teutonic Order, and Novgorod. Now, Novgorod is this guy right here. He's a biggie. So what we want to do is we want to go see, does Novgorod like us? No. But the only reason they don't like us is that we're neighboring heretics from their point of view. So let's see. Let's look here. Let's look at the religious map mode. Ah, okay. So the thing here... I keep hitting the wrong button. The thing here is they're Orthodox Christian, and we're Catholic. And so that's why they don't like us. But it's not a huge thing, right? That's the thing. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go to diplomacy. We're going to go to relations, actions, and we're going to improve relations. And the moment you see this, you see I add these diplomats up here. Send. Boom. The diplomat is off to the races, and every month they are going to improve relations. And their view, everybody's view, is impacted by, this is us, is impacted by our diplomatic relations. I'm sorry, our reputation. And right now, it's at +2 because we have this guy here, which is very good. Okay, now, this is an event. Let's see what this is. We have had complaints from several dignitaries in our country that the new practices of our merchants are clearly heretical and that we should put a stop to them. We could accept the demands and we lose 50 diplo power, which is from here, or we ignore them and we lose 10 prestige, which is right here. The problem is my prestige is so low, and this impacts morale of armies and everything, so I'm going to eat the diplomatic power. It's kind of a toss-up, actually. Are we currently focusing? Oh, okay. We must start out on this focus. This right here, we can set a national focus, right? So we're going to say we want to focus on this particular power. What it does is it adds 2 to this power. So this is the military row. So it adds 2 to our military that we get every month, right? But it takes 1 from each of the others. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn this off. There we go. And so it's going to even up. Now, we can only do that every 25 years. So what I just did, we're going to have to wait until 1469. It's 1444 right now before we can do that again. All right. So this is saying we have no mission selected. We can hire for military leader, which we'll do at some point. Provincial unrest. Lapland. Where is Lapland? You know what? We can do this easy. Lapland. Boop. Oh, there you are. Oh, yes. We've got 1.6% unrest here. It's not a massive amount. The reason why is because they don't have an accepted culture. So we're getting all this unrest, all these unrest modifiers from this, and they don't have an accepted religion. And when I say accepted, I mean by our nation and most of the people in our nation. So there's multiple things we can do here. We could actually send a missionary. It would take 66 months to convert them to Catholic. Now, while they do that, the unrest is going to jump by like 6%. So we would almost need to go and park an army on there. Now, right now, this is an army. This is only 1,000 people. It's 1 regiment. What is this? Okay. that one thing I said that we could do with foreign nations, we don't even need to do. It turns out that Novgorod, who still doesn't actually like us at all, is offering us a support of independence. Okay? We want this. What this is this is Novgorod. Novgorod. Is that it? Novgorod? I keep wanting to say Novgorod. Novgorod is supporting our independence. So it pretty much it's an agreement from them. They've committed. They don't even make a decision. It's just a commitment they've already made. Where when we declare independence, which is pretty much the exact same thing as declaring war on Denmark, they'll come in on our side. That's important because they're pretty good size. This is a support of independence from Scotland. These guys over here. We will also take that. What we want is we want to get some others. What I like to usually get is I love to get support from the Hansa. Where are you? Where are you guys? I'm so confused. Where's the Hansa? Am I missing them? Lubric? Oh yeah, that is the Hansa. I'm just looking over here. Yes, this is the Hansa, and this is the Hansa, and this is the Hansa here. And it looks like they're really small, but they all have ridiculous base taxes. And base tax is what impacts how many men you have and all that stuff. So, for instance, the Hansa only have these, I think these 3 provinces, right? But this is 12, which is amazing. That's bigger than London. Like, if you look at London over here, London is a 12. It's the exact same as London. Okay, so it's huge. That's a 10, still huge. That's an 8, that's really high. So the Hansa, for example, if we look in the ledger here, we'll look at armies, for example. Let's look at Sweden, which is us, obviously. You'll notice that our total force limit is 12. The Hansa has a force limit of 8, and they only have 3 provinces, as opposed to all of this. So that's what base tax will do for you. What we want is the Teutonic Order. They also don't like Denmark at all. So what we'd like to do is we would like to get just everyone on board to help us out. Like, hey, you want to come help us? You want to come support our independence? That would be awesome. Right here. See, and you notice how it has a check mark? They would probably support it. That doesn't necessarily mean for sure, but it would be. And you notice how it says, like in the second paragraph here, right here, it says, we need at least one more positive than negative reasons for an acceptance. We currently have 50. It's 50. They're definitely going to accept it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here. We're going to say, hey, we're going to send, boom, Teutonic Order accepted our offer. Awesome. So now we're going to go over here. Would they support independence? Actually, they would. This is Pomerania. And the only reason we can't ask them is we have no diplomats to send, but actually now we do. So we will, now, awesome. So currently, just so we're aware, just so I won't show you, this is diplomatic. Will this show me what I need to know? No, it won't. Okay, currently, Novgorod, Teutonic Order, and Pomerania, and Scotland are all supporting our bid for independence. So if we went and declared war on Denmark, right now, they would all jump in on our side. The thing about Denmark is that, you see this little red line? They can cross here. And, like these guys here, I don't know what they're doing here. I don't know why, what they're going to here. Yeah, they can cross here without you using a ship. But it's just kind of assumed that they'll ferry themselves across. But if you set a ship in this sound, this Orensund, anyway, they can't cross if you have a ship in here. It can be just one ship. But of course, they have a navy as well. We currently have a navy. Let's look at what we've got. Actually, our whole navy is right here. Let's just pick this. Boom. Is our navy? No, can we just grab everybody? Grab everybody. There you go. So, we've got these galleys, and we've got transports. I'm going to grab these transports, and we're going to disband them, because I don't care. I don't need them, and they're just they're costing us money, and they are not what we want. So we've got 3 light ships and 7 galleys. Galleys actually might be worth more to us at the moment, because they're very, if you're in inland seas, which is all of this, as opposed to, open ocean, they fight really well. The problem is they can't be used for a little thing like these light ships, where I can select these and I can be like, I want you to protect trade in the Baltic Sea, which is here. And what that does is that actually improves our trade power. Currently, we've got 43 trade power in the Baltic Sea, which is 20% of the trade power. And that impacts how much trade money we're collecting from it. In fact, one of the things that we should do, we should make sure our merchants are good. Let's look at our merchants. We have one merchant here in the Novgorod trade node, and they're forwarding trade to the Baltic, right? So they're sitting here and they're like going, oh, you should send trade to the Baltic, blah, 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 blah. And that's exactly what you want them to do, right? And so And we have one other merchant, and they're currently in Krakow, and they're also sending trade to the Baltic. Now that's great, but what we want to do is we actually want to be... Wait, how much is this trade node word? How much is this worth? 864. Yeah, okay, so we're going to actually remove them from Krakow. We want them to collect trade from our home node, because we actually get a bonus to that as well. So we're going to do collect, and we want to choose the merchant that's in Krakow. Now, we should look up here. Currently, we're making 0.65 from Novigrad and 0.75 from Krakow. So we're going to do this. Boom. And they're going to have to actually travel. That'll take a little bit of time, right? And we want to... Boom. Now they're going to check. And see, now they're collecting from the Baltic, and they're making 231. So we just improved our collection by almost a full 2 ducats a month just by doing that. And that's what you want. All right. So, now, my problem right now... Wait, is this me? Oh! I have a lot larger army than I thought. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to actually come here. We're going to move our armies here. You'll notice that when I hover over this province, it says the terrain, but it also says supply limit. The supply limit actually impacts, you know, what... how much army you can support there with having massive attrition. So we are actually, what I need to do is I need to build some more galleys. How much are these going to cost? What are all these? Do they have any heavies? They have no heavies. Heavies are like the most expensive ship, but they're massive and they're terrifying is what they are. This is going to cost me. Now you'll notice that I'm in build mode here, right? And so you'll notice that all this is red. Well, that's because it's not a coastal port, so they can't build ships there. But right here, what this is showing it's going to cost me 10 ducats, and it's going to take 176 days. Now, one of the issues here, honestly, is that if we wait too long and Denmark gets too powerful, like they get allied with people, we're going to have an issue because some of our friends that are so interested in helping us with, you know, our independence are not going to be as interested in helping us. Okay, see, they won't. The Livonian Order will not support our independence. Why is that? Well, it's a minus 23 right now. They will support us because they like our reputation. See, that's why I picked that advisor. They like our army strength. They're hostile towards Denmark, so they don't like who's our overlord, and trust. But they also have a neutral attitude towards Sweden, which is this thing right here. We'll learn more about that as we go along. Their opinion about Sweden is not high enough. If we worked on improving relations here, it would help. I'm not sure if we're interested in spending the time on that. And the Danish army strength, because that's who they would actually be fighting against, right? Swedish Navy strength, etc., etc., etc. So, probably not going to go for them. Now, let me talk to the Hansa. Will they support? No, but very close. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually improve relations here. Bloop. And what about England? Not at all. Why is this? Because they're neutral attitude towards Denmark. They don't actually have a problem with Denmark. Oh, and they're at war. That's the biggest thing. 202, they're at war. All right. Our army forces that. Okay, so we're going to come over here. We're going to actually... What's currently in this army? Okay, we've got... we can group this up, this army. Whoop. Okay, now currently in this army we have 8,000 infantry and 2,000 cavalry. We don't have artillery yet because we don't have the tech level. But we'll get there. How is shipbuilding going? Yeah, it's going. Okay. We can build 2 more. I'm going to build here. And we actually don't have the money to build anymore at the moment. So, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull our army maintenance down a little bit so that we can actually make money. Now what this is going to do is this little bar right here is our morale. And that's going to drop down to a certain point, pretty much about whatever point we have our maintenance at. And morale is extremely important in battles. Like, you can have overwhelming forces and still lose a battle if your men run out of morale, or the other side has a lot higher morale than you. And so when we come into battle, we're going to have to bring our maintenance back up and wait a month or two for them to pop back up to higher morale before we can do anything. Teutonic Order. Oh, actually, Teutonic Order is already supporting us. Actually, we're going to talk to Hansa. We're doing. See, they're only at -13 now. They were at -16. So awesome. Who else can we get in here? What Austria? Would you support our independence? All right. Okay. So this is another one. This is influenza. Rumors say that sailors come back from a trip sick like hell, and the ones who didn't die on board infested the whole city with their disease. It is time to act before the whole country dies from coughing and cold sweat. So we have two options. We can quarantine the port and let them die. In this particular case, we lose 100% trade power from that province. We get half the goods produced are gone. Local tax modifiers halved. Local manpower modifiers taxed. And this is until 46, so it's a year. Or we can do this, where the impact's a lot less. However, there is a 75% chance of the influenza will eventually spread to a neighboring province. I am not willing to take that chance. By the way, you should Google and look up the origin of the word quarantined, or quarantine. You will find it quite interesting. All right. There we go. Now, Austria. Does Austria like us? Austrians like us. Would you support our independence? Why is that? Because they don't have a problem with Denmark. And that's really about it. And they don't like us. They don't dislike us. They're just neutral to us. So, there's that. How about Brandenburg? Would you support independence? Not in the... Oh, because they can't reach Denmark. How about you? Would you support us? Because you do... Oh, you're friendly towards Denmark. Well, that'd be a problem. Has Denmark allied up yet? Not yet. Who's this? Would you... No. You can't reach Denmark? Oh, because of Holsten? You'd be able to reach... That's silly, though. You'd be able to reach Denmark as soon as we went to war. Would not be a problem. -12. What else can we do for you? I don't know. We're waiting on our ships to build anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And have... Ah, yes. We got this guy in here. Ready? Army. And did we... Oh, yes. We actually weren't able to build another army because we didn't have the money at the time. Unfortunately, we're going to have serious money problems. The moment we... How much is this going to cost us? 25 to build? 10 to build. Well, we'll go with that then. Alright. Now, 8 of their people are still here, which is interesting. We're going to... These ships we've built, we're going to move them to Stockholm. We'll go up to 3 for the moment. This is a real-time strategy game, right? So, but there's a lot of points where you're just pausing. Because, yeah, I'm going to group them up. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them up, and I could mothball them, which will drastically reduce what we're paying on them, but it will actually, they'll lose, they'll lose quite a bit of health, and so when we pull them out of mothball, we'll have to wait for them to be repaired, which isn't a huge deal right now. I would really like to get the Hansa in. Love to get England in, but they're at war, and the fact that they're at war means they're not going to do crap. They can't reach Denmark, and they're friendly towards Denmark. You know what I'd like to do? Let's pull this up here. One of these is this. Yeah, opinion map mode. I think we can click on Denmark. Oh, here we go. Now we clicked on Denmark, and this is showing us color coded who doesn't like Denmark. So you'll notice that Scotland doesn't like Denmark. Novgorod doesn't like Denmark. Teutonic Order, pretty much Pomerania, pretty much everyone who has jumped in with us. These guys, well, that's also Teutonic Order. So pretty much everybody who doesn't like Denmark has already jumped in. Although Brandenburg hasn't, but that's mainly because they can't... Wait, they're friendly? Wait a minute, they're friendly? Oh, yeah, they are. Okay. What concerns me is that Novgorod will take a while to get there. They're going to send troops over, and they're going to have to walk all the way across. It's going to take a while. So anyone else that doesn't like Denmark? England should not like Denmark, to be honest. But it is what it is. All right. Turn that off. Let's look at us. These guys all seem to like us pretty good. All right. Now, we're going to have to deal with Norway's army and Denmark's. Oop, here. Up to 3. We need to get... The money situation concerns me, but we can take out loans. So, that's a thing. Okay, so, boom. How are we doing? 281. I'm going to pull this up. So you'll notice how this right here, it dropped to really low. Well, that's because I pulled the maintenance all the way up, so this is showing us what we need. So at the end of the month here, it's going to tick, and our morale is going to pop up. Boom, a little bit. And we just need to wait until we can do that. Now, also, one thing that we need to do, did we group this already? Yes, okay, we're going to go here. We're going to hire a leader. This is going to cost us 50 military points, and it's going to roll. It's going to roll a leader. And so there's fire, shock, maneuver, and siege. We don't really care about... well, actually, we do care about siege at the moment. Maneuver is actually a lot more important than it is now. I'm not going to go into these right now. What I will say is that... Let's see. In our military stuff, you see how we have Army Tradition 8.3? It's actually very low. And our Army Tradition is what impacts how good of a military leader we're going to roll, right? So this is going to be pretty shoddy. Hopefully it's not horrid. Actually, that's a lot better than I could have wanted. All right, so this now has a general, as you can see by the little star there. You'll notice it's only 1 star. They can go up to, like, I believe it's 6, but those are, like, really, really rare. France always pops up with, like, amazing generals. All right. Oh, yes, we want to... We're going to come sit right here, which we can. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. And... Now, this is their fleet. Let's go... Yeah, let's go ahead and open this up, and then we're going to... As soon as the month ticks, we're going to take this. We're going to bring you guys to Stockholm. These are light ships, but they're still better than not having them. Alright, so we're going to come here. Boom. Alright, now, just as a recap, we've got 14 ships here. They've got 5 here, so that's why I care. See, they've got 16 ships here, but 8 of them are transports. How about these? There's actually 5 galleys here. And I don't really want to... What we're also going to do is we're going to roll an admiral. Hope he doesn't blow. Wow, that's actually a really freaking good admiral. Holy wow. Okay. Oh, and we actually have to be in port here. Bloop. With that admiral, we're going to put them back up here. All right. And let's recap. Let's look at our stuff here. Diplomatic view. Viewer country. Now, all of these countries are supporting our independence. So we have Scotland, Teutonic Order, Pomerania, and Novgorod. And is the Hansa even close? No, what happened? Oh, they're at war. Wonderful. All right. Do you have any allies yet? No. Okay, so at this moment... Actually, we're improving. Let's pull the diplomat back from Novgorod. And actually, we're going to pull the diplomat back from the Hansa because it's not going to matter at the moment. So, let's look at this. If we declare war right now, this would be for our independence. And yeah, all these people are going to come in immediately. The enemy allies, unfortunately, it doesn't list their... It says it here, but it doesn't actually list their vassals here, which would be good. But they rule over Holstein and Norway, which will aid them. Now, the problem about this is I wonder how Pomerania is going to get in here. I would love to get Mecklenburg in here, only because it would matter... See, we can improve relations here and get them up to friendly, but it may take too long. You know what? Screw it. Okay, so let's look at real quick. These are farmlands, grasslands, grasslands. So this is pretty much, there's not going to be any type of penalty fighting in these. This is woods. If we attack into woods, we're going to get a penalty. Grasslands, fine. These are woods as well. In fact, we can go over here and see, right? So, yeah, we're going to get, if we attack into these, we're going to get penalized. What we want is, I'm concerned about Norway. These are wood grasslands. We don't want them attacking us on grasslands. We'd like to be in a forest. Unfortunately, see, they're in a forest, so if we go in here, we'll be attacking them into forest. I'm not really interested in doing that. What I need to do is I need to hold out until Novgorod can get over here. That would be good. Who's this? Oh, that's the Hansa. See, the Hansa has a crapload of ships, too. That's what would have been really helpful. But that's fine. Okay. And one of the things that could help is if our ships were over here and could keep them from coming through here. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Although Novgorod has some ships over here. Hopefully they'll come and help. All right, I'm going to put a cut on this video, and in the next one, we're going to declare independence, and that's going to be that. And we will either do well or we will fail, and I believe that actually rhymes. Okay, thanks. Until next time, stay safe, have a fantastic time, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.